Well, you see, I have the TV on there. Yeah.
So manage your diabetes and your budget with Relion. Relion Prime, available only at Walmart.
In the fraction of time we spend driving reverse, about 500,000 accidents occur each year, which is why only QX60 has no
So I have the TV on, and so we're wondering what President Obama is going to do. Yeah. And he doesn't look like he's doing too much there. He's either going to step up the bombing against ISIL, or he's going to do nothing, is what he's going to do. Because he's not going to put a whole bunch of ground troops in there. I'm sure about it. After, after seeing all those troops in Iraq there, and that, we lost, he's not going to put in hundreds of thousands of ground troops. And so, ISIL is here to stay, but you can reduce their power somewhat by conducting robust airstrikes, because no one wants to invade Iraq again, and we're scheduled to pull out of Afghanistan, and after that Al-Qaeda is going to move. They're going to move right back into Afghanistan unless we do something there.
Protect your valuables for as low as $4 a month when you add renters insurance to your Allstate auto policy.
Because he's gonna leave a contingent of 1,000 at the end of this year, and when he leaves office, he says it'll be 0. And
with Allstate, you get great protection for your life plus an agent, and safe drivers can save up to 45%. Call now and see how much you can.
You should listen to this guy. I'm telling you right now, we got to do something. Pakistan's government is getting weak, and they're getting infiltrated by fundamentalists. And what I would do is I would conduct a robust air campaign against ISIL. Then I would just leave it alone, is what I'd do, and move on towards Afghanistan. Ruto there, he's babbling. There is what he's doing. You're complaining about an airplane flight. Someone putting their seat back on an airplane flight. It's the most ridiculous news you've ever heard. There are a million anecdotes, out there, all kinds of crazy things happening. There's a girl who fired an Uzi and killed her instructor there. She was a 9-year-old little girl. A gun accident there, and there's shootings every day, though. You have drive-by shootings, and then you have gang warfare in the inner cities. You have gang warfare, of course, is what you have, and they don't even hardly carry it. They don't carry it at all. On the news there, they don't carry gangland shootings there. That's what they don't do. That's because it'll increase criticism of blacks by whites. Then whites will have more criticism of blacks, and the journalists don't want that. They want the blacks to be criticizing the whites, claiming that the whites made them poor. But of course that's not true. Journalists are saying that black poverty is from whites, is what they say, and that's not true. And if you showed lots of black people shooting guns, the whites would get critical of the blacks, and they would say, "Hey, you're doing it," and the blacks couldn't say anything there, so that's why they don't show that all those gangland shootings. The journalists are race baiting, and they're carefully planning it out. They're tips for passengers: stay in your space. Airline etiquette to you too. I told you about all those gangland shootings that they're not reporting. That's right. They don't report on all the auto accidents or all the murders from guns in the inner cities. And they don't report much, do they? They report little weird anecdotes is what they do. Things that, little points of interest there. They showed the race car driver get run over, That's what they showed. And they showed the girl firing the Uzi who had an accident and killed her instructor, and in the airline etiquette, they showed about someone complaining because someone had their seat tilted all the way back, and disciplining their children. This is about airline etiquette, apparently. This is ridiculous. They cover ISIL, then they cover airline etiquette. So there's it's just like filler material, and it's babble is what it is. And they had the big story about ISIL, and courtesy of NBC Television Academy. Some girl in a dress that I saw yesterday, and doesn't tell what her name is, so I noticed they were trying to push a racerizer on her name. Now then you have these commercials here on Prosperity and service industry. And yeah, so here I'll just keep recording it. And it's really quite it's quite frustrating, and discomfort, and it's a long war as well. It's a long war. They made a movie called Spider-Man 2, then they made a movie called The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 was good. Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 were good, but Tobey Maguire, there haven't been any good movies since then. All the movies are very violent, and they're very violent, and they're kind of weird. The movies aren't so good. The TV shows aren't so good. You have NCIS, and So You Thought You Can Dance, and reality shows are, there's nothing special about them. They're kind of boring, they're not like the classic sitcoms, which are worth watching. They have Big Bang Theory, which is not bad. Big Bang Theory is about the only one they have if it's still on the air. Anyway, so I'm waiting for them to say something, they're going to talk about Russia and ISIL is what they're going to talk about, and Congress will be back in session. President Obama is threatening to legalize 5 million illegal immigrants there, prevent their deportation. That's what he's doing. One or the other or both. And that's actually there's 30 to 40 million illegal immigrants. And, the journalists are lying. They say it's 11 million.
Alright, well, stressing out over saving up, you're not the only one. Also, that big chunk of younger Americans think that they'll need at least $1 million in the bank before they can retire, if they can retire.
Majority of younger Americans say they'll need $1 million to retire. Well, the economy is blown, so much more retiring, But really, people should not retire. Retirement, of course. Retirement, of course. When you retire, you're no longer productive, so you're not useful to the economy, of course. It's better if they keep working, and that's why we have too much labor excess. There's no countries on the planet Earth which have a labor shortage. There simply doesn't exist. There's 7 billion people on this planet, 1.4 billion of them are Chinese. They're so badly overpopulated. Let's talk about the economy, and it's really because of immigration. And anyway, so I'll stop